Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researchers Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Padmanaban Mohanan with us. A brief introduction of Dr. Padmanaban. He has done his bachelor's and master's in biotechnology from Bharatidasan University, Tamil Nadu. And for his PhD, he moved to Republic of Korea and attended Kyunghee University in Yongin. Then for his postdoc, he attended Seoul National University, and from academia after the postdoc, he moved to industry as customer support application in Genus Inc. And currently, he's a business development manager at Sugentech Inc. With this brief introduction, I would like to say thank you so much, Dr. Padmanaban, for taking time out.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction and welcoming me on the show. So, it's a very good show, I feel, because nobody celebrates scientists. So, thank you for doing that.
Thank you for the kind words. And yes, the idea behind this series is to celebrate researchers more than what we can, because that the acknowledgement is what we believe is should be more than publications.
Right. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely right. Because rather than other celebrities, we don't get any any limelight. Actually, I would say, and only like when we get Nobel Prize during our 70s or 80s or big awards, then we will get some limelight. But it's actually good to show to the society that there are people like this and how they come along with their career and what are their struggles. Yeah, it's good to know with them. Yeah, rather
thank
than
you.
rather than other celebrities. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I believe the idea behind all of these conversation is like to develop this niche where people can come together and celebrate each other more than, as you mentioned, that Nobel is something which is like, few, like not even 0.0001% of what we all are there.
True.
And
Yeah.
at STEM for Society, we believe in that every single researchers, every single PhD student, or even the researchers who are not in official roles as PhD or some others, they should also be celebrated and their effort should be acknowledged.
True. Yeah. I agree with
That
that.
being
Yeah.
said, that being
Yeah.
said, we always start our conversations by same question that how and when you decided to become a researcher.
Okay. So I have to go back to 2008 actually. So 2006, I completed my bachelor's in biotechnology, and then I sort of thinking like, should I go for master's degree or I want to get some industrial training? So I was checking many companies and interviews and try to be a marketing agent or something like that. So but I couldn't success in that. Then I understand. Okay, let's go for master's. Then the college, under Bharatidasan University, the autonomous college, where I chose master degree, that I wanted that should be a milestone for my career because my career will build on my master's degree. So I searched many college in Tamil Nadu, many universities. I appeared for entrance. Fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't clear any entrance. So I was like, okay, then I tried to find some autonomous colleges where I will get some hands-on experience on my lab techniques and everything because I'm very much interested in doing lab techniques. So rather than my theory science, because theory everybody can do, but if you are getting expertise in lab techniques, that will be vitalized for everything. Then I got help from one of my friends suggesting that, oh, hey, why don't you come to St. Joseph's College in Trichy? So they have a biotechnology degree. I crossed through this college since my since my the days when I was baby, because my mom's hometown is nearby St. Joseph's College. So I never thought like St. Joseph's College will be having a biotechnology degree. Maybe I didn't expose to it. Then I went for an admission. Then yeah, I was one month late, but thankful for the academicians in St. Joseph's College. They kindly accepted my entry into the college, and then where everything started. So I got a nice training and very vigorous coaching staff, like teaching staff, I would say. But they are very strict in terms of lab techniques, which I was expected. So I get to do more extra works than other students. Then all interested got. Then I got interested with my one of my professor. He was kind enough to take me during what he do in research. He was trying to do PhD in that time, so I was helping him. So from where it all started. Then he moved to Korea for PhD, and then I was moving to some other work in Chennai and Tamil Nadu when I was doing like assistant professor, like a lecturer in colleges in St. Joseph's College itself. Then one one night we were just having conversation like those days were like we were having like a G chat, hope you remember this Google chat. So I was chatting with him, then saying like I'm trying to do PhD and I'm applying to Canada and Max Planck and everything. And he said, why don't you come to Korea? I'm here and I try to find some position for you here. Then he get me some position, some like there was a new professor enrolled into the university and same department where he belongs. Then he suggested me, he's from UK. I mean, he's a Korean, but he did postdocs and scientist training from UK, Scottish Crop Research Institute. Then you can try to him. Then I sent an email. Then he was kind of excited because I was the first PhD student for him. So he just took me. Then that's how it all started. Then I came to Korea.
Perfect. So having that established networking and mentor played a very crucial role for you to securing your PhD position.
Absolutely. Mentorship. He was like more than mentor to me. He's like a elder brother to me because our fathers are in the same professions. So we get more gel together because we each other understand our pain because our fathers will not guide us. Only we have to go through everything because they were in police department. So we get some some mentorship, and I see him as a elder brother to me. So he guides me. Then the way I transformed from I was doing like neurodegeneration in my master's projects and everything. So I was more interested towards that. Then the PhD was in plants. So the switch was incredible actually. So I tried to. I mean, I was successful enough to cope up with this change in subjects, and then yeah, it comes along. Yeah.
Normally, this is the thing when we talk about different area research focuses shifting from PhD to postdoc, but that happened for you even early, from masters to PhD, and then
Yes.
up until now. So
Right.
one question which we try to discuss more in these conversations, that when you mentioned that early on you knew that you want to do industrial training, your expertise in there, and from industrial motivation to coming to academia to do a PhD. Let's talk about that conversation, that apart from having this mentor already in Korea, what were the different thought processes which were going on when you were ready to apply or to accept the position in for your PhD?
Yeah. So I have to go back to some like in India we have some exam like entrance exam for getting into Army Medical College, like Armed Force Medical College, right? So I was trying to write that exam because my my one of my cousin uncle he was in Air Force. In my I was into biotechnology, and my father was trying. Why don't you try some army? Or he don't want to push me to the police department, so he was trying to help me to army. Then I find like there is a medical college entrance exam for army. Then we were going there to write exam in Goa, I think, yeah. So on the way, I saw many biotechnology industries, some fermentation industries near Bangalore, I think near Karnataka, Hubli, or somewhere else. So that's where I got inspired to get into industry. So to do that, to do all those things. Then I started to read many things about how this industrial technology work. Thankful to all my teachers, professors, and subjects where I get to learn. Like there are some industrial trainings are also available. So that's why I got interested to get into industries after BSc. But since my technique was not enough, so that I couldn't get into it, then I moved to master's degree. That's why I was very much interested to do more lab training, lab techniques, and I want to get into some universities where the lab techniques are very much good. So that's where I set a standard over there. Then I started to focus more on where I started to do my master, more lab works than my research works, than my studies. Then from there, the interest kicks on, and I moved to to do PhD. Actually, I was thinking to do PhD in neuroscience, neurodegeneration, and there was a motor neuron disease. So me and my mentor, Dr. Sasi Kumar, so he's now in India in a engineering college as a professor. So we do a lot of conversation. He is having the same interest in neurodegeneration, and he was suggesting, okay, hey, there is a disease called motor neuron that is very exciting. Just have a read. Then I took as a we have a review session in our college syllabus itself, master's degree college syllabus as well itself. So that kindled more interest in doing that research. So I was more focusing on that. Then during shifting to PhD, that actually the initial research was on nuclear dynamics of like one protein in nucleus, so which is helpful for like viral infection in plants. So that's why I took this PhD subject. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Maybe some other if some other plant works, then I wouldn't take it actually. Then the things move on from there, and then I switch over from that initial joint lab to another university, Kyoto University, where I did PhD. That is in flowerings of plants. So this is a variety of things I have done. So that's where it's more towards the interest, how you are getting it, and more towards like some more than passion. There should be some push where you have to
Yes.
do something, you have to understand something, you have to know something. So that push helped me to do this until this stage to the research. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I would like to say to all the audience here, whosoever is listening to this conversation, that having not established networks or guidances from your peers, either it is family members or friends, Dr. Padmanaban also brought out one important point that if you are passionate, you see where you have to go and then you establish your networking accordingly, be it following your schoolmen, like professors as mentors, or from your family, whatever you feel like you need. The one thing which you have to know is like, what is your aim? What are the possible paths which can take you to there, and then you can succeed. Because yes, in India we have at least most of the researchers, we come probably are the first generation graduates,
Yes.
undergraduates, masters. So for us, we have to bring all of these points together and connect all of those to reach wherever we want. Coming back to the PhD journey, let's talk when you have offer, joined the lab. How was the journey?
It's a bumpy ride, I would say. I would say frankly, I did PhD for 9 years actually. To be frank with you, and I switched over two universities to do PhD. And I said like, I have interest and I have passion to do research, but that doesn't guarantee me that smooth ride. So I joined this university in Korea. So the professor was good. He is capable of doing things, but direction wise he's not good mentor. So I was like I learned some of the techniques like microscopy, and as I said, my major was totally in until master totally in neurodegeneration and protein extraction, those stuffs. And I switch over to plants. That's a struggle again. So learn 6 months how to grow plants, how to do things. Luckily I was working with Arabidopsis, so it has a very short cycle, like 2 months it overs. So I could able to learn all the techniques in 6 months, and it was a challenge actually. So because since I'm going to work in nuclear dynamics during that time, so he asked me to directly isolate nucleus in the third day of my joining in the lab. So I was like quite surprised. I was excited. Wow, I'm going to I'm going to isolate nucleus. And then I don't know actually, because so far I don't have any experience with plants and isolating protoplasts and everything. Even though I work with most of the brain samples for protein extraction. And then after 3.5 years of the same work, but somehow I feel like the project is not leading to any goal. It's like I'm doing some many random things. I'm doing most of the microscopy work, confocal microscopy, analyzing how the protein moves, like like fluorescent proteins, signaling and everything. And I didn't get any visible like defects in the plants where I'm working with. because of this protein. So in plants, if you don't have any other phenotype or any changes in the plants, which says that the plant does not need the protein, it may survive without the protein as well. So I had a conversation with my professor, and he was very adamant, like, you have to focus on this. Then I understand, okay, I think this does not lead to me anywhere. So maybe even like after 10 years, I have to continuously work in the lab, which does not lead to any purpose. So which is not think actually, because my age is also going on. So I was almost like 30 around that time. So when I was thinking that, okay, realize this does not going to lead to me any path, then I moved to other university, which is not easy in Korea, because even the community here with professors is that they have all the connections. Even though you are from different field, the professors network is very strong. So if it's not easy to switch over from one lab to another lab. So the professor easily call them and like, oh, there is a guy from your lab, he want to join my lab, is it okay if I take him? If he says no, then you cannot get in. So 6 months it was a struggle, and I didn't get any scholarship, any positions. It was a struggle, and that time I got married. That was another stuff. And my wife was here, and she was doing PhD in the same university, but with a different professor. Her work was going smooth, so I thought, okay, I need to get into some position. Otherwise, I need to move out of Korea. So searched many things, but it is failed actually. Then luckily I get joined into Kyung University. The professor is very kind. He was giving me 6 months time. Okay, let me see 6 months how you are work, because I'm a failure PhD student coming from 3.5 years without any publications. So he said, I will give you 6 months, then let me know, let me show, let me think how, let me see how you are working. And luckily I get one review and one third author, second author, third author publications within that 6 months period. And he was kind of impressed. And very importantly, I know I could converse in Korean language, even though I did not study Korean language, but maybe because of my ability, because of my previous lab experience where I have to converse with these Korean students. They don't know English, they were undergrads, so I have to learn what they are speaking. I have to communicate with them like, I need this help, I don't know what kind of a help I need. So that conversation helped me to become established in the lab where I go in. Then from there, 4.5 years, I finished my PhD. And that was again a difficult plant. That is a medicinal plant in Korea called ginseng. So maybe you might have seen like ginseng tablet, ginseng revital drinks and everything. And everybody worked mostly on the metabolite part because it's very easy to find out everything. But I work in the flowering parts, which is very difficult because ginseng flowers after 3 years. So so you need to find out. My team lead, like my postdoc mentor in the lab. So she was giving me two topics. One is like going for the metabolite biology, like just to understand how the metabolites work, and second thing is flowering of ginseng. I asked her like, what is the background behind this? Then she explained all the two subjects. Then I said, I think flowering is much interesting. Then I will take on flowering. So it was 4.5 years. So because there is nothing available for ginseng, even genomes at that time, even genomes, no genes available. You need to find everything. You need to dig everything out of ginseng. So it was very exciting. So I just took it and then started on. So then I complete my degree. Yeah.
This is like when you open that Pandora box, you do not know what you are signing up as a PhD
Exactly.
student, and then you
Exactly.
realize. So, like, yes, we have these conversations where we say everything has its own benefits and challenges. So, if you have some fundamental information available which you can build on because somebody have done that work, that found a fundamental work or foundational work. Whereas if you have to discover everything on your own, so
Yeah.
we see the challenging part. And one very important part, when you mentioned that we want to converse with every single researcher here, that there is nothing called as failed PhD student because the training you got there.
Exactly.
And we start with having said that never marry a hypothesis. Because one
Absolutely
thing,
right.
as a researcher, we should be is open-minded and adaptable.
Correct. Yeah.
We should not burn out ourselves because of someone's adamancy. And we also believe in that there is no perfect mentor and no perfect mentee. Everyone has their own gelling relationship as and when it grows, because PhD gives all of us enough time to know people, to know, understand their intentions and this environment where we work together. That is it a team environment where everyone feel that they do belong, or it is that toxic environment that nobody wants to be there.
Exactly. So, as you said, it rightly put actually, because see, I had an interest to to explore new things, to find out many techniques. As I said, since my I was rooted like I was more towards a lab guy than a theoretical guy. So that's how like I could able to I could able to switch over between universities. And as you mentioned, like there is no perfect mentor, and we cannot stick with any other hypothesis. Eventually, the professor did not publish any work for almost like 7 years, and then he got one publication. So which does not help you as a student, because as a student, rather than learning things, rather than being passionate, you need something to attach to your name. Like, okay, you got one publication, you have to tell like no public that I am capable of doing research. So which if it does not happen, then move on. And the burnout is another thing, because I was almost drained of no I was one time thinking like I want to give up the research. So because it's very painful for 3.5 years, and I've gone through a lot in 2014 time. So I decided that's why like end of the year I want to finish everything and switch over in the new year as a new career. So that's where it all started. There is no perfect mentor. Even the new professor was a kind of like a industry academia guy. So he was in industry for 25 years, and then he moved to academia, from industry to academia. So he see everything as a product, how we can do those things. And that is also kind of a learning for me. And even like the 3.5 years I spent in that university with that professor, I get to know more about plants rather than doing things, because I don't have any plant experiences. And I understand more about microscopies, confocal microscopy, how to prepare samples and everything, which actually helped me in my later years of research. So everything is learning, but you need to figure out like where you have to put a break and then switch over. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's very hard. It is not easy. It is very
That
difficult.
that is something which we are seeing in the current scenario, and this is globally true, not only in India, where people are quitting their PhDs after 3, 4, 5 years, and you have done that, but you were strong enough to take up to the challenge because how you saw that it was the experience where you have included different skills in your skill set, which you know that you can build upon in next phase or next move. So let's take time out for those conversations, that when a researcher is going through that tough phase where they are ready to give up on PhD, and
Yeah,
in very sad cases where they commit suicide.
true.
You have gone through so much. We can feel that pain. How you can motivate or bring these researchers out of their misery where they feel they are stuck.
Right. So that's a very important question, because burnout and then stressed out of outcomes, that kills anyone. Actually, it's not easy. And I will tell you, like 2014, I said I gone through a lot of things. In the first quarter, like until March, it was a very good feeling, because I got married in February, and then we are starting new life in Korea where no one is there. And then second quarter from April to May, and I gone through a lot. And there was my father passed away, and then my scholarship cut in May, and I did not get any money. And then I kind of believe that okay, we have to go through all those things, and everybody in life go through some tough phases, but you need to stick on. And there are some supporting forces for me, because I'm kind of a very expressive guy, and me and my wife easily mingle with everyone. So it does not matter, like, I need to have a conversation for 1 hour or something. If you start to converse, like, name and I'm so and so, then we start to build up and everything. So that was kind of helpful for me to form uh, Korean friends as well as many Indian friends, because there was not much Indians, only around 7 or 8. So it was a closed population, but I kind of, put together all 7 and 8 in my room, and we kind of eat and everything. So they were like kind of supportful, and they were like, whenever I go down, they pull me out of it. And even like when I was financially struggling, and all my friends were helpful. Even still now, till now, I'm getting help from my friends actually, who are very close to me those times. So even like I had one of my schoolmate actually. So he came to Korea for PhD, and then he used to visit my lab, my room during weekends, because he was feeling lonely over there, and he comes to my room. Then we were having conversation, and I get to know many friends during community events, and then we all go together, we all travel. So this is how I kind of release my stress, and that's how I refresh myself, and then come back again with all the hardship, and then go back again, refresh, and then come back. So this kind of things I could develop in during my stay in foreign countries, because during in foreign countries you don't get any mental support. Even if you tell all the things to your family, parents, then they don't get it actually. That's true. They don't get it, because they understand, okay, oh, you are going through, but you will manage. But they don't see exactly what you are going through, and it's very difficult to converse, during phone call or any meetings. You have to be there and then feel the situation. So as a researcher, we are already trained up to face all the hurdles, but still, yes, in terms of like mental strength, you need to develop also as a PhD student, and then you need to know how to come out of all the stresses and all the things. And yeah, that's how I could able to do that with the help of friends here. And you need to be more expressive to be in a foreign country, and you need to make many, rather than connections, you need to be able to converse with everyone that you are speaking, so you get some idea how they are coming out of the situation, or how they can help you in terms of reducing stress and everything. So we used to have a cricket tournament in Korea. So I used to play for a team. So that's kind of stress buster, obviously, because you're playing out of, and all the adrenaline pump up, then everything goes on, right? So this way that I try to minimize what I go through. But again, it's a hardship. It's not everyone's piece of cake. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you brought up very important part of having those support systems. Either it can be your friends or a community you developed,
Yes.
either in community events you have met someone, or playing those team games. Having that, like stress buster, everyone has their own way how they can come, because as you mentioned, being expressive is like, there are people who are extrovert, it's easy for them, but we do have researchers who are introvert, who
Yes.
cannot initiate those conversations, and then talking to people is not their thing. But then
Right.
they might have hobbies like going to hiking, where they don't have to interact to anyone, or just being in nature, camping. But having that support system identified by you, that which one works the best for you, so that you know that whenever you feel that you are approaching your burnout limits, acknowledging that is the most important part.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
to develop those support system which can bring you out, rejuvenate yourself, so that you can again enjoy your research. Because as Dr. Padmanaban mentioned, just interested in your research topic and passionate about your experiments probably will not be able to hold you for years. You
Yes.
do need the support system. You do need to have a plan, okay, with the adaptability and moldability for sure. You cannot just say that this is the only way it can be done. No, that's not. Being a researcher, that is what we think and what we learn. So now moving on to the next part, when you were about to submit your thesis or graduate, being awarded PhD,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts at that point of time, that you were ready for the next step before putting the prefix doctor in front of your name?
Oh yeah, that I mean I still remember 2019 August, so 23 I guess, yeah, the date. So it was a great feeling, during 9 years of stay in I go to many PhD ceremony. As you know, in foreign countries they have a ceremony for awarding ceremony, and all our friends gather together. So I always feel like when I will hold this degree, and when I will do this one. That is actually, even though you are expressive, even though you have many friends and everything, you relieve your stress, but still that kills you. You see, I said like my friend was here, my schoolmate. So he finished a degree in 3 years, and then he moved back to US. Now he's now in Texas. So he is there. So and all my friends all completed PhD, and when they complete the PhD, restart my PhD degree again in 2015. So it was already painful. It drains me, financially as well. But when I get the degree, like doctorate, then I was like, come to a level that okay, this is it, finished, that done. Then I was more focused on like what is next, because that is more important rather than finishing degree. Okay, this is done. Anyway, I feel like during 4 years of my period in Kehu University, I understand like I will be completing my degree for sure in this lab, and I am capable of doing that, because building a thesis and everything. And during course of time, I understand. And actually, I supposed to graduate in February, but my professor pushed me 6 months again. So I was kind of prepared myself. Okay, it is coming, but it is delayed. It's not like that thing. So I was kind of mentally prepared to achieve something. Okay, this is not a big stage, but we need to go through after PhD. Successful people comes out of getting this kind of a simple pleasure, but you need to focus on the next stage, where that is the real difficulty. You need to set your path where your science goes on from there on. So I was more focused on the next stage rather than get overwhelmed by appointed with a degree, or putting a doctor sufficient.
I think having that plan is also important
Yes.
because with mass productions of PhD globally,
Yes.
we can say that there is a good chunk where they see that PhD is the final destination. They have not made a plan that what will they do with that degree.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Yeah. Totally
most
agree.
of
Mm.
them struggle for the rest of their life. Whereas it could have been ended in PhD. Obviously, research struggles will be there, but you cannot go very far without a solid plan. And again, we do talk about moldability, that you should be open uh, and also seeking for opportunities, because something which might not be the best fit today, who knows, can be
Yes.
after 5 years. You say that the skill set I have learned, as you mentioned, in the first lab is what I have built on in the second. And then today, that is
Right.
because you see that as a skill development
True.
opportunity,
True.
which is
True.
very, and I think one of the things which makes all of us a researcher, that we see an opportunity in any challenge what we face, that how
Yes.
we what we can learn and how we can build upon that.
Totally true, because you need to see what are the opportunities you get. So building up to my like postdoc period, I kind of understand like where is my weakness, where I lack. So during my PhD from 2011, during the journey to 2019, I was kind of confident that my molecular skills are good, even though if I don't know any technique, for example, pull down assays or chip assays, whatever it is, and I'm confident that I can do. But the one thing I was very low or less, or my skill is very lacking, is that how to do this bioinformatics thing, like informatics and everything. Even though I learned many things during the second part of PhD, like bioinformatics, but real situation programming and how to assemble DNA sequences and everything, which I was lacking. So I was always interested in some lab which I can go as a molecular biologist and learn genomics techniques. So because I work in ginseng field, so the society is very very less, very small, but they are the amount of work they are doing is high quality. Like most of the metabolite work, and one professor is more focused on genomic idea. And my professor is more interested towards the metabolites and how to improve, how to produce a new breeds of ginseng. So I was coming from breeding lab, and then I moved to this genomics lab where for my postdoc. So he also knows me because we met in many conferences, and I used to deliberately I used to ask questions in terms of genomics because I was working with identifying flowering genes in ginseng. So whatever the doubts I come across during conferences, I deliberately go and ask him directly. Even though he knows some other answers, he will not tell you, he will not reveal you because he is doing a genomics. Like, we are like kind of competitors. So we established our first EST sequences, and he is doing genomics now. So I wanted to get into this lab, no matter what, so that I will learn. I know that that lab don't have any molecular biologists, so I'm very confident that I can go in there, but there is a time you need to click on where to do that one. And luckily, I get into that lab to learn more genomics work. I could able to, I could do that some of the technique with the sequencing, but again, being in a bioinformatics lab is not that easy to do more of the molecular work. You cannot establish much work. So I was moved to another lab, the same in the same lab. So I was like, middle of between two labs. So we form a center. I'm combining like four professors, and one professor was new actually. So he was a new appointee. He was transferring from another university. So he is well versed in molecular techniques. He was focused on circadian rhythms and so on. So he needed a postdoc, and my professor kind of see like I always converse with him in terms of molecular biology. He kind of understand, oh, no, he's not fitting my what his objective was. So he switch over to this lab. He asked me to do the work here, and we will communicate. We will do all the works here. So I kind of doing two works in PhD, molecular work as well as the genomics work. So it was kind of again a challenging part because that's the way I took it, because I got a new avenue of research, circadian rhythm, learning circadian
Mhm.
rhythm, which is one of my another favorite topic to work with. And then I get to know some sequencing aspects of research as well. So how to do the things in terms of sequencing and how to prepare samples for sequencing and everything. So I somehow balanced both of things. I think. Yeah. So I was always
Absolutely.
ahead to think. And most importantly, you need to understand where you are lacking. And I feel like postdoc, when you're going for postdoc, is very important to learn new things. It's must actually, because you know how to do things in PhD, but postdoc is like setting up a goal where you are looking for the future. You need
Mhm.
to design your project. You need to guide students, or you need to establish your science abilities. So postdoc is a field where you have to learn new things, and you have to come across your weakness. So that's what I have understand from that.
Absolutely. And I think for all the audience, Dr. Padmanaban also mentioned one very important point, that you should also seek the possibilities, like the labs where you want to move, what they need, what you have,
Yes,
and what you need, what they have. It
correct.
should be a symbiotic relationship, that what you are offering to that research group and what you they all also should develop, like you can get new skill set learned there, or what are the new things, because if you do not have anything new to learn, that means you probably will spend or sail really smooth for that postdoc time, but that will not be of very good use for you in a longer run. Whereas
True.
putting yourself into challenge, either it is about independence or about management, because one thing which is absolute truth, that researchers do not get any advanced training for how to become a better administrator, how to become a manager when it comes to funds, how to become an auditor, or troubleshooter or mechanic or whatnot all.
Yes,
So
yes.
you have to develop all of those.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, likely you put like very difficult to finance managers. I'm not a finance guy, so I don't know. I just spend everything what I have. No, yeah, we cannot think. I mean, in personal opinion, I cannot think much on my, taking care of other things rather than focusing on what I have in hand. So, if, for example, learning finance things, and that's kind of a complex for me, complex area for me to go in there. You need to have some savings, you need to do some things. So I'm kind of moving all the finance management to my wife. Please take care of it. I cannot do anymore. So it's not
That-
easy. Yeah.
That's a teamwork at home, though,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah,
Perfect
yeah, absolutely.
example.
Yeah, because
So,
we need to see our the build up of career. Being a researcher until 40, you are kind of building your career. Then you don't sometimes it works in both ways. For some people, they get a easy success in 35, and then they kind of fix with one higher level positions. But even for, I have seen many guys, like including me, until in 40s, and some other in 45, they kind of could not establish themselves and could not fix their career well. So you need to focus more on that as a researcher, so you don't get any chances of exploring other opportunities where you can, if you do there, but you miss many part of here. So,
mhm. So now let's take the next step. PhD is done, postdoc is done.
yeah.
Now the real, driving force. You always want to work in industry. You moved to Genus.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
let's take on from there.
that's another bumpy ride, and there where it comes, the connections actually matters. So I was like almost 3.5 years in my postdoc, so in Seoul National University, and there was a time where I had to publish 2 papers in 1 month, and I could do that, 2 papers and one review as well. So, and then there was a time where this joint venture is going to a sore situation. 3 years is done in the professor in this side and professor in that side is kind of understand why we made this joint venture. So that kind of situation, so I could sense that, because whatever I'm proposing, I'm kind of in a middle point between two, so I need to balance both of them. So it was increasingly harder after 3 years. Then I understand, okay, this is the time to switch over from here. 3 years is done, and rightly said, all my finances and struggles and everything kicks on. So no, I cannot continue to do that, because you need, at a certain point of time, when all my kids are growing up. My first baby is almost like 7 months, sorry, 7 years, and I need to uh, look for some better school education opportunities for her. So I need more finance. And yeah, I cannot, every time I cannot buy from my friends for money. So I need to find some, some paying job, some positions where I can move on to the next level. So I was applying to many position, and I'm kind of more known to everyone in communities in Korea. So as part of Korea Tamil Changam, so I get to connect with many people here. So there was many groups in my WhatsApp chat. So there was one post for some customer support R&D in this genus company. So I applied to this job, and I kind of conversed with the guy who sent the position. So he said, I forward your CV to that company. So they asked me to find some Indian. So I forward your CV to that company. Maybe the company will contact you. That's it. And 6 months, 7 months passed, and does not happen anything. And meanwhile, my wife, she quit PhD because of the delivery for the first baby, and we could not continue. She moved to another university as a researcher. So she was doing some research in a joint venture, like academy industrial collaboration. It's a small startup. So she was doing some work over there. So that was her last stage. She was completing, she was finalizing everything, arranging all the data. And the guy who put the advertisement, he passed in the lab, because he's a country manager for one of the molecular, product company, a Chinese-based Wazyme company, some molecular company. So that guy used to come to the lab and see my wife. So because he's an Indian as well, so so he kind of asked me, like, I have seen you many times. Who are you? He was asking to my wife, and my wife said, I'm so and so. I'm working with him for lab, and this is my last day. I'm finalizing all my data. Okay, so do you know Korean? Can you speak Korean and something like that? My wife said, I cannot speak Korean, but my husband can speak Korean. He's good. He's now in Seoul National University. Then he remembers my name, because I forwarded my CV to him. Then he remembers my name, and then he said, I know this guy. I mean, I have sent the CV to some other company. Yeah. You can ask him. Then my wife shared my contact and we call. And then I told him like I sent my CV to you, but no, I didn't get any response from you. Okay, I will talk to the boss, in the Genesis boss. Then all the things goes on kicked up again, and then they call me for interview, and then I go for interview. It's a the Genesis is a distribution company, so it's a in vitro diagnostic based distribution company. So they were looking for to establish R&D lab. So, and in terms of Korea establishing R&D lab, you need to have a doctorate guy to take care of all the research and the stuffs. In Genesis, kind of a startup, so nobody will go in there. So that's why they actually look for some foreigner to get into it and who can speak Korean. So that will helpful for them in terms of putting them as a customer support guy and then to establish R&D and do some work. So I was kind of right fit to them. So he said, "Okay, we'll take you." I was shocked actually. To be frank, I was shocked because I was. It was a new experience for me, and I know some diagnostic. I have done some diploma in diagnostics, diploma in molecular diagnostics when I was in Bhardas University after my masters. So I have that experience as well. So it's kind of come together all. Then I said,
Mhm.
okay, let's take up. Again a challenge because you have a degree, you have a postdoc experience, and you are living in Korea for this long, and you know some Korean language. Like it's kind of risk. Take a risk. Let's see if it goes well. And you have a 3 months probation period. If it does not goes well, quit from the lab and quit from the company and find some position, postdoc position. So it kind of a challenge I took. Then Jealous it was a really nice company. It was a small startup, but I mean, what we aim for was in succeed in 2 years. So that's why I moved from Genesis to Sugentech. That's another interesting thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go in there. And then this is for the audience here that moving out of your comfort zone is always challenging, but then it
Absolutely.
pays also big.
Yeah.
So it is you to decide that when you are too comfortable in the shell and when is the time for the next move, as Dr. Padmanaban till today has been fantastic in making those choices at different point of times.
Yeah.
That is one thing. And also another thing that for all the researchers, if you are out of your country, you are doing research somewhere else where the language is different, having learned that language, not to the proficiency level, but if you can communicate, is a different skill set. Now, when we have these conversations, we say, oh, yeah, it's a very soft skill set. Also, because if any employer has to pick between two similar background expertise, the candidates, the one which has this upper edge of communicating the research or in general to the community there, they will pick one who have it. So
Absolutely. That's
it's
a
not
correct point.
only your research which gets you higher. All of us knows this, but how many of us actually put this extra effort? Because I'm sure Korean is not very easy. Although, like, I also know that Tamil is not easy either. Tamil is very
Yeah.
tough. And I do understand that part. But one thing which we will now take in the almost last edge of this conversation, that you mentioned that how finances and all that was not your forte, but what
Yeah.
you're doing right now is business development office manager. In this role, that is mostly what you have to do.
True.
How
Yeah.
is that
So
going?
yeah, like you have mentioned, like moving out of comfort zone is much important for everyone. It will kind of explore you to a new avenue and new branch of where new branch where you can learn better, and it will pay you well as well. So that's more important. So that's why like I move out of academia. I thought of, okay, let's go into the company field and then understand how the things works. So IVD field in Korea is huge. In Korea is one of the top player in terms of IVD technology. So I was after 2 years, and we were looking for some huge project in Korea. So there was a biobanking project was announced in Korea, and as part of a Genes company, so we were doing some distribution from one of the global player. So we were like trying hard to get the project to the place where we feel it is good, but unfortunately it lost out of our hands. So there was not much going, and there was no vision again from the management. So we could sense that from all our employee, and being a small company and doing Korean, and I conversed with all my directors and managers, and they were kind of saying like, you are PhD, why you are sitting in a small company, just explore your opportunity. And they was trying. So I was started to apply many jobs, and I got a couple of interviews, but they feel like we are not, we don't want to take you because degree PhD, because I was top level to for their expectations. So I could not get into through it. And there was an opportunity for international business development. So the advertisement came, job advertisement. One of my like a director, Korean director, he was my sales director, so technical sales director. So he was suggesting me like, Papu, this is perfect for you. Just apply. So I was just applying it, and then I got a reply from my team leader saying that come for interview. So I get into it. So that's another thing. In as you mentioned exactly, like I always say to everyone in Korea, like whoever joins for a degree, you need to learn Korean languages must. So I took interview in Korean, like all my interviews are in Korean. So he was very impressed with the way I speak in Korean, and being in India and being with a degree, and it was like a perfect choice for him to get into a business development team, get into his team. So he immediately called his managing director and asked him like, I like this guy, I want to take him. So he took me. So again, it is a new area for me because I have done research, academic like customer support, and again it's a technical field, and business development is a kind of new thing, and it comes with your character as well, because I'm kind of as I said, I'm a 200% extrovert, me and my wife. So we used to make connections easily with everyone. So that is actually suits for business development. And more importantly, finance, which I wanted to learn in business development. That's most important. How to handle the funds, how to set your target, and limit everything. So I see that as one of the opportunities. So that's why I took this job. And be moving from a small startup to a big manufacturer, and it's actually always helpful for you in terms of learning new things. And it's again a struggle for me, because you think everything in a research way, and you kind of convince with real life situation, like that's a reality what we are learned up to until PhD. So if the result is not coming, yeah, it's not coming because it is the situation happens over there. But in business development, you cannot say that. You need to make that failure into success, right? So I'm still learning with that, how to convert the leads into successful lead generation. So that's a new thing. I need to learn new things. I think that's why like I kind of get into this field, business development, and it's exciting. It's been 6 months of exciting time.
Absolutely. And it looks like at one point of time, either if you have done something, you might not have realized the importance at that time, or vice versa. At one point of time, if you do not want to do something,
Yeah.
the same challenge is waiting for you after a couple of years. That
True. I mean,
the
totally.
life is
I mean,
ready for you.
yeah. During my journey, it seems easy for you get connections and you get into a position and everything, but it's not that. It's not that actually, because you need to have you need to put an effort to try to make that opportunity, that lead what you get to your opportunity. And most of all, you need to be ready to come out of all the situations. And even though like still I have many friends in many other companies, many universities and everything, I can easily go and ask like I'm struggling in this job, I need to find some position, please get me one. They may get you one, but even even though you get some opportunity, some leads, and you need to generate that lead. First of all, you need to you have to generate that lead, and generate the lead to a successful job, either to land you in a job or land you in a position or get you something what you want. So that is the most important skill what I'm thinking. And even though like I did not ask for help from any of the one, like sometimes it comes to you. Whenever it comes to you, you need to grab that opportunity and then move on to the next stage, provided if it fits your position. Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Absolutely.
you are thinking. Yeah.
So at the edge of the conversation, I would like to know what we say, the word of wisdom, like based on your experience, what you can say to our researcher community and our audience.
Okay. Like during our conversation, we gave so many points in the
Yes.
to any new PhDs or any new researchers, rather than researchers or scientists or postdocs, or even to a human life. There are I feel like there are some certain characters which should be basic to move on. So that will apply to PhD as well. So first of all, you need to know what you are first, and you need to understand what you need first. Second thing, because I see many PhDs till now many PhDs, many postdocs say, I want to get a postdoc position. Okay, what field? Just any field in chemistry or any field in biology. So no, it is not like that. You need to be focused. Like you need to know what you want to do first. There are plenty of labs, plenty of opportunities, plenty of fields in there. You need to particularly locate something. Like in my case, I was interested in neurodegeneration, and then I got an opportunity in nuclear dynamics, which is kind of an exciting field. So I moved to nuclear dynamics, even though it is a plant or animal, does not matter. Most important is that you need to know what you want first. Second thing, you need to come out of your comfort zone at any cost. It does not give you any purpose. And being in one point of time, you said like money introverts, they cannot explore many things. I had so many introverts friends. Even my mentor is an introvert. Dr. Sajay is an introvert. So he feels very happy when I am around. So he stay explore. He used to say many things. So you need to make some connection. If you're introvert, you need to come out of the zone. At least have some trustable community around. And the third important thing is that even if your finance or your background not suits what you are doing, move on. So during my PhD, I faced a struggle with the finance. So I just wanted to move on with the field. Either you need to get a degree or you need to get a position to support your life, whatever. Because either you are living in a foreign country or living in a home country, money is the most important factor for any people. But for researchers, I would say finance and money is very very essential, because if you think a lot about finance, and you cannot do much work in science. And I feel that actually during my postdoc PhDs, and I feel like always I get problem with finance, that I could not give my 100%. So that is the most important thing. So if you are not comfortable with finance, and take care of that first, and then you can do research at any point of time. Even around 60 years, you can do that. Even if you will
Absolutely.
still have the passions.
I
And
think that's a wonderful way. Yeah.
yeah. And
We always say,
one final
Mhm.
point I have: patience. You need
Yes.
to be patient for everything. I'm now 40, almost 40, 39. So I finished my PhD in 35, 36, and that's my second attempt. So it's not an attempt, but it's a learning curve. But still, period of time is huge. So people around you will move away, move around to move, like climb up the ladder and everything. But you need to be patient with that. Okay, you need to understand like this is how your life goes on, and you need to accept that first. So these three qualities are more essential, I think, for anybody, PhDs, postdocs, or even your late career. That's
Absolutely.
most important. Yeah.
And I think we should celebrate Dr. Padmanaban now. 9 years, two universities, nothing was able to stop all those troubleshooting, those challenges, whichever came into his path. He succeeded everything. And now enjoying research, following all the passion what he have for research, taking care of all the responsibilities, either financially or the family, everything together. Thank you so much, Dr. Padmanaban, for taking time and sharing your journey. To all the audience, I can say that if you want to write to Dr. Padmanaban directly, you can write to him. You see, he's a great mentor, a great connect to be in. And if you want STEM for Society to put you in touch with our researcher celebrities, we are there to support you, to help you. If you are going through any tough phase, Dr. Padmanaban, and we are there to support you. We all have to come out of that And that is the trademark of the researcher, the perseverance. We do not give up.
Absolutely, never give up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Padmanaban, for this enlightening sharing the journey with all of
Yeah.
us.
Thank you very much for listening to me and asking nice questions. Actually, even it seems simple, but everybody goes through a lot. So it takes some courage to come out of asking the people like right questions to get the detail for everyone to get inspired. Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me in here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was pleasure having you. And to all the audience, I can say that stay tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity and enjoy the research.